Let's close our eyes and let the moment drown the whole world out. We're in this together. Hear our hearts beat together.
Good afternoon to you, everyone under the sound of my voice, and thanks for joining me on the program. We call it Sports 360
Forever.
here on VODO FM.
This one's for you. This one's for you.
Good afternoon to everyone under the sound of my voice, and thanks for joining me on the program. We call it Sports 360 here on VO Radio FM. My name still remains Anna Sovenishus Arinze. The leg can destroy. The commanding commander. The Puyaka evangelist. The small body, big engine. Oh, Fakonga. Baba Wodo. Today happens to be the 10th day of January 2022, and we are live here for our Sports 360 program, where we give you the best of sports analysis. We promise to take you 360 degrees around the world of sports, only and only if you stay tuned to Ultimate FM. There are lots and lots of things to talk about. Where do we start? Where do we start from? Is it the Italian Serie A, Spanish La Liga, the FA Cup that was played during the weekend, or is it our very own AFCON, our very own African Cup of Nations? It is upon us, my people. The most waited and anticipated African Cup of Nations, the 2021 edition that was brought into 2022 because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And nothing, the AFCON, they said there's nothing is going to stop us from holding this year's AFCON. I mean, CAF had made their promise and they fulfilled their promise. You know, my dad always told me that I should always trust pregnant women. Do you know why? Because they will always deliver. He said, never trust politicians because they will never ever deliver. But you see pregnant people, my son, trust them. They must surely deliver. What am I talking about? CAF, Confederation of African Football, they made a stand that despite the COVID-19 pandemic, despite the new variant called Omicron variant, that this year's AFCON must go on. And they have, for once, they have actually delivered. So, what are we going to do? We are going to enjoy this AFCON. If you are not a football fan or a football lover, my brother, I wonder what keeps you happy. I wonder what makes you happy in this part of the world. Because our economy is nothing to write home about. Or is it our environment? The only thing that keeps us happy in this part of the world, in this Nigeria, is sports. And when we talk about sports, we talk about football. We talk about football. The round leather game. The pokerepo. The felele. I'm on waiting with the enjoy you. Without wasting much of your time, let's dive into the Italian Serie A results. What happened over the weekend? Which teams did you support? And which team cut your tickets? I know that a lot of tickets we are dowered. A lot of tickets we are torn apart because of what happened in the FA Cup. Arsenal lost woefully and disgracefully. Moving on. In the Italian Serie A, let's break down the results of those games. The first game we saw, Venezia lost at home against AC Milan. AC Milan is on fire. And Ibrahimovic, as old as he is, he can never stop scoring. They call him Zlatan Ibrahimovic. The older, the better. He said he is a demigod when it comes to a football. Moving on, we saw Empoli lost their game against Sassuolo by 5-1 at home. Napoli won their match against Sampdoria by 1-0. Udinese, surprisingly, or should I say not surprisingly, because Atalanta, we have always known Atalanta for their high scoring performances. They won their game. Away from home against Udinese by 6-2. AS Roma lost again for the second consecutive time. They lost against Juventus by 4-3. The funniest part is that they scored their 2 goals first. Juventus had to come from behind to win those games. Jose Mourinho's side has suffered 2 consecutive defeats in their last 2 matches. Genoa lost at home against Spezia by 1-0. And Inter won their game by 2-1 against Lazio. Surprisingly, Verona lost by 2-1 against Salernitana. Now let us dive into the matches that happened in the Spanish La Liga.
We were born to fly, so let's keep living till it all falls down.
Moving on,
Let's close our eyes and let the moment
the first game we saw Rayo Vallecano.
this together,
They played a 1-1 draw against Real Betis.
together. We stand
Sevilla won their game against Getafe by 1-0 at home.
this
Alaves and Athletic Bilbao played a 0-0 draw, a barren draw. Osasuna won their game against Cadiz by 2-0. And Villarreal played a 2-2 draw against Atletico de Madrid. And Atletico Madrid lost 1 man. I'm not saying he's there though. They lost one of their should I say one of their best players to a red card.
waving colored flags, we won't surrender. There's no standing down. Level playing field is full of winners. We're breaking new ground. We're in this together. Hear our hearts beat together. We stand strong together. We're in this forever.
Moving on. Levante won their games against they won their game against Mallorca by 2-0. Real Sociedad won their game against Celta Vigo by 1-0. Surprisingly, Granada had a late equalizer against almighty Barcelona. How has the mighty fallen? Barcelona played a 1-1 draw against ordinary simple Granada. And the team that has been at the top of the Spanish La Liga, they are not keeping their foot off the pedal. Talking about almighty Real Madrid. Carlo Ancelotti has been doing a great job at Real Madrid, whether you believe it or yes. It was a 4-1 win, or should I say 4-1 bashing of Valencia. Valencia that has proven to be a tough team for opponents like Sevilla, Atletico Madrid, Athletic Bilbao, and also almighty Barcelona. Moving on. Now let's go to the German Bundesliga. where Bayer Leverkusen and Union Berlin played a 2-2 draw. Freiburg and Arminia Bielefeld played a 2-2 draw too. Greuther Fürth and Stuttgart played a 0-0 draw. Hoffenheim won their game at home against Augsburg. RB Leipzig played their game against Mainz 05 and they won that game by 4-0. Okay, 4-1. And Dortmund had to come from behind. They had to come from behind to win their game by 3-2 against Eintracht Frankfurt. Moving on. Let's move straight to France Ligue 1. We are Brest. B-R-E-S-T. You know, I always say this, that I'm responsible for what I say, and you are responsible for what you try to understand. At the end of the day, Ogade, we are both guilty. Brest lost their game against Nice by 3-0 at home. Clermont played against Reims and that match ended in a 0-0 draw. Metz played their game against Strasbourg and they lost at home by 2-0. The game between Montpellier and Troyes was suspended due to COVID-19 pandemic. Nantes played their game against Monaco and ended in a 0-0 draw. Lyon, surprisingly, played a 1-1 draw against PSG. PSG had to draw and had to struggle and come from behind to draw that game, to score a late equalizer. I always say this, that PSG is not the team to watch out for. And their coach, Mauricio Pochettino, rumors has it that he is willing to receive any amount of money to be able to join Manchester United. Like I said, it is still a rumor. It is not yet confirmed. Now let's look at the games that the FA Cup games that we have played on Saturday. Mansfield played a 2-3 loss against Middlesbrough. Bristol City they had to win. Okay, they lost after extra time against ordinary simple Fulham. Burnley lost against Huddersfield Town. Coventry won their game against Derby. Hartlepool lost against Blackpool. Millwall lost against Crystal Palace. Barnsley won their game after extra time against Barrow. Bournemouth won their game against AFC Wimbledon. Leicester City 4, Watford 1. Newcastle 0, Cambridge United 1. Peterborough 2, Bristol Rovers 1. Port Vale 1, Brentford 4. QPR and Rotterdam played a penalty, and QPR won that game. West Brom lost after extra time against Brighton. Wigan 3, Blackburn 2. Birmingham lost against Plymouth after extra time. Chelsea 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chesterfield 1. Hull City and Everton had to play had to enter into extra time before Everton could win that game by 3-2. Yeovil 1, Bournemouth 3. Now, a surprising result in the FA Cup. Arsenal, they were dumped out of the FA Cup. They could not make it into the 4th round of the FA Cup. You know, there's something about Arsenal. Arsenal is not a team that you are going to bet your money. Arsenal will continue to disappoint you, even when you least expect it to happen. Wetin dey shele? Arsenal lost against ordinary simple Nottingham Forest that Nottingham Forest are 9th on the championship table. And Arsenal could not win. The truth be told, Nottingham Forest, they were the better side. And they deserve that win. They are into the 4th round of the FA Cup. The draws are soon to be made, maybe by this week. Arsenal is a shame for Arsenal fans and also Arsenal players. Well, during the match or before the match, the commentator said that Arsenal have their eyes set on qualifying for top 4. Even at that, we all know that when Pep Guardiola won both the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, and the Premier League, he also played all his players. He had no excuse of not winning his games. He never said, I'm concentrating more on the English Premier League or the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup, but he won everything that is there to be won. So there's no excuse for Arsenal to be dumped out of the FA Cup. It is a shame. The last season, they were dumped out of the FA Cup during the 4th round. This year, Arsenal did not even make it to the 4th round of the FA Cup. What is happening? Wetin dey shele, Arsenal fans. Don't forget that you are still listening to Sports 360 here on Ultimate FM. You can join us live on Facebook at Ultimate FM. Make your voice heard. Drop your comments. Tell us which team surprised you the most. Which team disappointed you the most? And which team you were expecting to win or to lose? We are going to go on a quick break. When we come back, Ogade, we are going to discuss about our very own Africa Cup of Nations. You know, there's something we always do here. We are not going to talk down on the Africa Cup of Nations. Do you know why? Ultimate FM can never talk down on our very own AFCON because we are patriotic. We are going to be fighting over the Champions League, the FA Cup, the Community Shield, the Premier League, the Italian Serie A, the Bundesliga, the Spanish La Liga, but we don't love our very own AFCON. Why? Other stations can talk down on AFCON, but Ultimate FM can never, ever talk down on AFCON because it is our very own edition of the Euros and also the World Cup. It is our own World Cup, Ogade. Stay tuned. When we come back, go nowhere. When we come back, we give you the full gist of what transpired in Egypt yesterday as we witnessed the first game of the AFCON take place. It was a mouth-watering tie between Cameroon, the host nation, and of course, you know the team they played with. Stay tuned. We are going to be right back. Go nowhere.
One day, come on, leave this radio for me now. I enjoy this Vio radio.
Hey, gida leave him for me for Vio radio. Wallahi, me I enjoy him for me. Haji ko na gode.
Hello, give me the full volume of this FM. I'm enjoying this Vio radio.
time away from the hustle and bustle of the city to relax, kick back, and have some fun? Time off with family, friends, and that special someone. You have an event and need a beautiful, accommodating space to host your guests? Look no further. Rio Resort and Event Center has got your back. With our 1,000-seater hall, restaurant and bar, poolside, gym, tennis courts, golf course, VIP space, kids play courts, alluring bedrooms, and a serene environment to Capitola, nothing is left uncovered. Rio Resort and Event Center is located at kilometer 36 Ishara, Agoiwoye Road, Ishara Remo, Ogun State. Telephone 081-687-09103, 090-416-26640, and 091-374-23830. With VO Resort and Event Center, you've made the right choice.
You're listening to the best radio station on the planet. The radio station you can't live without. This is your radio. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. The most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
View Radio.
View Radio.
View Radio.
You radio.
View Radio FM. We are the best.
Yes, yes, yes. It's VO Resort and Event Center. Do you need some time away from the hustle and bustle of the city to relax, kick back, and have some fun? Time off with family, friends, and that special someone. You have an event and need a beautiful, accommodating space to host your guests? Look no further. VO Resort and Event Center has got your back. With our 1,000-seater hall, restaurant and bar, poolside, gym, tennis courts, golf course, VIP space, kids play courts, alluring bedrooms, and a serene environment to Capitola, nothing is left uncovered. VO Resort and Event Center is located at kilometer 36 Ishara, Agoiwoye Road, Ishara Remo, Ogun State. Telephone 081-687-09103, 090-416-26640, and 091-374-23830. With VO Resort and Event Center, you've made the right choice.
Super Eagles, check it, we are back again. See my boys, them tapping on the pitch again. We don't come, we don't run, make them clear the way. West Africa, Africa.
Hey, welcome back from that commercial break.
But now we
Don't forget, this is still Sports 360 here on Ultimate FM with the Heke Master, the commanding commander, the Puyaka evangelist, the small body big engine, Fakonga, Baba Wodo. The list goes on. If I start today, I go say what's in the shell. I am so happy. Do you know why? Because I'm always patriotic. This is, we don't have, I know many of our fans will be wondering, why am I playing the Super Eagles match? We are warming up our match tomorrow, so we need to make it worth it. The first games of the Africa Cup of Nations were played yesterday, and we saw a mouth-watering match between Cameroon, the host nation, and Burkina Faso. I know, see, there's something we do on this platform. We don't just tell you the analysis or the what happened during the games, we also educate you. After the game yesterday between Cameroon and Burkina Faso, a lot of people were complaining that Burkina Faso were robbed, that Burkina Faso were supposed to win that match by 1-0. But my brother, they say if you don't travel, you end up being like a blank page. There was nothing like robbery in that game. The officiating was top notch. And you see our VAR? The VAR did its job perfectly. It is not all the time that we are going to be criticizing our own football tournaments, African tournaments. At times, we give honor to whom honor is due. At times we praise these referees and those ones at the VAR. You know, in the last edition of the Nations Cup, the last one that was played, I think whether it's 2019 or 2018, yes, it was 2019. The VAR was used during the quarterfinals. But this year's AFCON, starting from the day one of the matches, VAR was introduced. And for me, it is a good development. Not only in Africa, but it is a good development. If our maybe MPFL can introduce VAR in their games, it is top notch. The officiating for me was top notch. It was the best I've ever seen. Okay, some people are saying the penalties, both penalties, we are not supposed to be a penalty. Okay, fine. Let me educate us. The first penalty, obviously, there was a contact. There was contact, even though he has lost the ball. As long as he is inside the box, there is no way the referee is going to blow a foul without awarding a penalty. It is as simple as that. There is no way the referee is going to blow a foul against you without awarding a penalty. As long as you are inside your opposition box, it is a penalty. That is why we should be very careful the kind of reckless tackles these players do inside their own box, because you can't think that is not a penalty. There was contact. It was clear. The VAR showed there was contact. At first, the referee said no, there was no penalty, but they had to call him back. Ogade, go back to the VAR. Check. Although we know that even when the referees visit the VAR, yes, let me educate us. Even when the referee goes to the VAR, the decision is still left for him to make. If the referee says it is no penalty, then there's no penalty, no problem for me. But as long as the referee said it was a penalty, it was a clear penalty. Ogade. Some of you are saying that the first penalty was not a penalty. It was a penalty. There was contact. Okay, now let's look into the second penalty. Yes, it was clearly that the guy, the Cameroonian, has already lost that ball. But the guy from Burkina Faso came with 2 legs. He had to slide with 2 legs. And though the guy has lost the ball already, but there was contact too. So there was no way the referee is going to blow a foul without giving a penalty. I hope we are all educated, so that we are not going to be shouting it is Ojo. Ogade, there was no Ojo there. And most of the people seeing all these things on social media, they did not watch the game. A lot of people were busy watching the FA Cup, watching the Italian Serie A or the Spanish La Liga. They neglected to watch the one that belongs to us, which is the African Cup of Nations. If you say you are patriotic, you don't have to wait until the Nigerian Super Eagles are going to play their games. Watch other games so that you can argue with facts. Here at Vio Ultimate FM, we don't argue anyhow. We argue with facts. We give you facts and figures. Now the first yellow card of the tournament was given to Yago, the guy from Burkina Faso. In the very first minute of the game, Oga don collect yellow card. He choke. Then the second yellow card was still collected or was still given to the guy from also Burkina Faso. His name is Malopi. Then the third yellow card, yes, was awarded to the Cameroonian. Onugene. Then the first goal of the tournament, it was a nice goal. The first attempt they had to use it, they had to utilize it very well. We saw Burkina Faso, they missed a lot of chances. If they had converted all the chances they got, I think they would have won or even drawn that game. The first goal of the tournament was scored by the guy from Burkina Faso. His name is Sangaye. Then the 2 penalties that was awarded to Cameroon were scored by Abubakar. But I wonder why Cameroon had to keep Choupo-Moting on the bench. This guy is a good striker. He played for PSG and now he's playing for Bayern Munich. This guy is he's a lateral finisher. but they had to keep him on the bench. Sometimes the decisions these coaches make is sometimes questionable. But who am I? I don't know anything. Ogade. It is left with the referee, it is left with the coach to decide who will start his game.
Minister Solomon Dalon, LMC Chairman Shehu Chico Udo, Board Chairman Nigerian Women's Football League Aisha Falode, Wanyika Woke, my man Tony Bitoye, Super Eagles Media Officer. Keep reporting, bro. President.
Surprisingly, you see Cape Verde. Watch out for Cape Verde because that team, they are aimed to shock the world. They are aimed to shock the African nations. They won their game against Ethiopia. Almighty Ethiopia. They won that game by 1-0 against Ethiopia. Ethiopia that people are tipping to even go far in the tournament. They are already losing. The goal was scored by Tavares. Not Nuno Tavares from Arsenal. No. In the 45th minute of that game. And they have to hold on until the very end. They have to hold on until 90 minutes to make sure that Ethiopia did not come back to that game. Now, the first red card of the game was collected by the guy from Ethiopia. His name is Baye. On the 12th minute of the game, Oga was shown a straight red card for a clumsy challenge. Now, the next games coming up today, Senegal, Sadio Mane Senegal against Zimbabwe. That game is coming up by 2 p.m. today. The next followed by Guinea versus Malawi by 5 o'clock. Morocco versus Ghana, Thomas Partey's Ghana. Same time, 5 o'clock. Comoros versus Gabon. Now let's talk about Gabon. Gabon is going to be without their key player, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. That guy, he's wahala too much. Arsenal pursue him, say you cannot play for us again because of disciplinary issues. Now Oga don't go Nations Cup. They don't go contact COVID. Oga don't collect COVID though. He might play, he might not play unless he recovers. I don't see Aubameyang playing in that game. And don't forget, he's their captain and their star man. So do you see Gabon winning against Comoros without their talisman, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang? Your guess is as good as mine as we watch these mouth-watering games. My spirit is high. My morale is high. I cannot wait to watch the Super Eagles of Nigeria play their game against 7-time winners, Egypt, as we call them, the Pharaohs of Egypt. Now, let me give you the nicknames of the 24 teams going into this AFCON. Cameroon is known as, their nickname is Indomitable Lions. Burkina Faso they are called the Stallions. Cape Verde, Blue Sharks. Ethiopia is called the Walia Ibex. Senegal, the Teranga Lions. Zimbabwe, they are called the Warriors. Guinea is called the Silly National, that is National Elephants. Malawi are called the Flames. Morocco, the Atlas Lions. Ghana are called the Black Stars. Gabon are called the Planters. Okay, the Panthers. That is Black Panther. Comoros is called the Kokants. Egypt, the Pharaohs. Of course, our very own Super Eagles of Nigeria. Our very own Nigeria is called the Super Eagles. Sudan, they are called the Falcons of Judean. Guinea-Bissau are called the Jotis. Algeria, the Fennec Foxes. Ivory Coast, the Elephants. Sierra Leone is called the Lone Stars. Equatorial Guinea are called the Nzalang National. It means the National Thunder. Tunisia are called the Carthage Eagles. Gambia are called the Scorpions. And Mauritania are called the Lions of Chinguetti. Now, surprisingly, there are a lot of things that we don't know about the teams coming into this AFCON. Do you know that Ethiopian players are all African-based players? They did not go to the AFCON with a single foreign-based player. All their teams, all their players are all based in their national leagues. They no carry any player from maybe Europe go that tournament. Do you think it is the reason why they lost their first game? And are they going to come back stronger in their next game? Your guess is as good as mine. Do you know another thing we are going to tell you today? I always tell you that here at Ultimate FM, we don't just give you analysis. We also educate you. Equatorial Guinea players are all born in Spain. Okay, 16 of the Equatorial Guinea players are all born in Spain. So which means they have dual nationalism. So they can either play for Spain or they can either play for Equatorial Guinea. But 16 of them decided to play for Equatorial Guinea, which I want to ask, which left wants me to ask this question. Do you, the likes of Saka, David Alaba and the rest that opted to play for different countries, do you think that they are not being patriotic? Because this Equatorial Guinea, their players are very, very patriotic. For 16 of them that were born in Spain to come back home and say, this is where I belong. Now, this is where we are going to draw the curtains close. You know, they say time is not your friend when you are talking sports. When you are having fun, time can never be your friend. My name remains Anna Asaf Venicius Arinze. The Leg can destroy, the commanding commander, the Puyaka master, the Heke evangelist, the small body, big engine. Saying good afternoon to you. Don't forget, this is Ultimate FM. From me to you, it is peace, love, arrivederci.
Hallelujah. Eagles are winning today. Hallelujah. Eagles are winning today. Russia, children